Hello, everyone. Hello, Hinoki. Hello, Sophie. Or Sophie, not Sophia. Sophie. Hello, Noe. And hello, Norman. And Mona. And Mr. Muhammad. Hello. So, the topic is nothing yet because we haven't started yet. But we are going to just talk about concepts. We're going to talk about concepts. I teach English so much. I teach about grammar and I teach about vocabulary and I answer questions about all that stuff so much that sometimes I get a little tired of it. So today, let's do something different. I get tired of answering the same questions over and over again. So, yeah. I am a concept guy, right? I like ideas. I think too much. So, let's try talking about that. Many of you will not be interested. That's okay. Ugh. Hello, Dennis. Let's see. What chance do you give to someone who practices with ChatGPT to improve their listening? Is it an effective way? Okay, that's a good concept to start with. Let's start with, first I'll answer your question, and then I'll show you a concept. So, Dennis, is ChatGPT, is it an effective way to practice their listening? Yeah, it's effective. It works. Is it the only way? No, it's not the only way. Is it the best way? Probably not the best, but still quite good. So here's the next concept. Does something need to be perfect for it to be good? Here's the first concept for today. Does something need to be perfect for it to be good? Does it need to have complete value, or can it have some value? There's your first concept for today. What do you think? So, for example, he asked, is using ChatGPT to practice listening, is that an effective way, he said. Is it an effective way? It is an effective way. Is it the only effective way? No. Is it necessarily the best way? No, but it is one way that does work. So, use it. Of course, use it. Okay? Raham says, it's not the best way. I prefer YouTube channels and podcasts. But, Raham, you said two very important words there. I prefer. Everybody has different preferences. That's why I don't tell everybody the same answers. Because if you prefer YouTube and podcasts, that's great. That's what works for you. But if that doesn't work for somebody else, that's fine too. Okay? There are plenty of ways that you don't need to care if you use them all, as long as you use the ones that work for you. Okay? All right, so there's concept number one. Things don't need to be perfect for them to be good or valuable. Sometimes you're looking for the perfect answer, but maybe you're spending so much time looking for the perfect answer. But there are many answers that are not perfect but are good, that are right there. You don't have to work so hard. Okay? Happy Diwali. Social media distracts me a lot. Is it better to delete those apps or to limit my time? That depends on you and your ability to have discipline. Mona, I usually treat distraction a little bit differently than many people do. Many people, when they try to think about distraction, they try to figure out how they can avoid distraction, right? They try not to be distracted. That's one way to do it. But I think there is another way to do it. Another way to do it is to use your distractibility to your advantage. So that means that sometimes, if you're distracted on social media, okay. The question is, what are you distracted by? Is your social media full of garbage and junk and pollution and nonsense? Or is your social media full of educational things and things about science and history and learning and motivation and inspiration and music and art and history? You know, is your social media distracting you in good ways or bad ways? That's a very important question to ask yourself. Everyone says social media is bad, but most of you forget that social media is only what you make it. Social media gives you what you want. So when you click on that stupid video, it tells social media, oh, I like stupid videos. So it gives you more. But if you click on, an intelligent video, if you click on a smart video, if you click on an inspirational video, a motivational video, a positive video, it will give you more of that. So social media can be a distraction in bad ways or in good ways. Okay? Your social media is a garden. What grows in your garden is up to you. If your garden is full of weeds, that's your fault. It's not the weeds' fault that the weeds are there. The weeds are there, and you didn't do anything about it. Okay? That's right, Norman says, we have to look at the positive sides of ChatGPT. It has so many good advantages. And that's another good point that I often make, Norman. Many people are talking about how AI is so bad and AI is going to ruin the world and AI is going to end society. Well, AI is already here. It's here and it's not going away. So talking about it in a way, sometimes people talk about AI like it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's never going away. It's here. It's here to stay. So, just like any other technology, you need to find ways to use it that are positive. Okay? I just think it's so silly that we're talking so much about if it's going to destroy humanity or if it's bad. It doesn't matter if it's bad or good, it's here. It's kind of like sharks. Are sharks bad or good? No, they're not bad or good, they're just here. Okay? So, ChatGPT, is it bad or is it good? It's just here. So, deal with it. Okay? There's another topic for you, or concept for you. Okay, Rian Vai wants to know about vocabulary. Rian, I'm not really talking about vocabulary and stuff like that today, but I do talk about that often. That's why I have 84,000 followers. 84,000 followers follow me because I do teach English. So, usually I'm teaching vocabulary and grammar and all these things, right? Reading, writing, listening, speaking. But today we're doing something different, okay? Wan Shang Hao, 可是现在这里啊，就是早上好。May I know your opinion about the young generation nowadays developing without their parents' permission? What do you mean by that? Developing without their parents' permission? I don't understand the question. Can you try to write your question another way? About the young generation? Oh, eloping! I'm sorry, I thought you said developing. Eloping without their parents' permission. Daffy, what year do you think it is, Daffy? For the entire history of mankind, forever, for thousands and thousands of years, people have been eloping without their parents' permission. Every culture in the world, there have been people eloping without their parents' permission. Do you know what Romeo and Juliet is about? Romeo and Juliet. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Wherefore art thou means why. It means why are you Romeo? It's about two people who fell in love with each other, whose families hated each other. But they fell in love with each other anyway, and they eloped without their parents' permission. That's Shakespeare. That was a long time ago. So, what do I think about people eloping without their parents' permission? Here's what I think. I think parenting does end. I think there is a time when parenting does stop. When you are a parent and now your child is an adult. And if your child is an adult, your job is done. Your job is done. So, let me put it to you this way. My parents, I have the greatest respect for my parents, and when I need to make decisions in life, especially important decisions, I talk to my parents and I ask my parents what they think. But I'm a man! So if I want to do what I want to do, then I'm going to do it. And it might not be what they want. But guess what? I respect them, and now they respect me. which means occasionally I might make a decision that they don't agree with, but they will respect me as an adult. If you never let your kids make mistakes, then you never let your kids grow up. You are responsible for children who become adults and they're still children in their mind. Why? Because you never let your child make any mistakes. You never let your child fall down. You never let your child do the wrong thing. Doing the wrong thing is one of life's greatest ways to learn. It's always easy to learn by reading, but sometimes the lessons in life, when you experience them, when you make the mistake, you don't read about the mistake, you make the mistake. It's harder, sure. It hurts more. It's painful often, but you learn a lot more. Okay? But for the entire history of mankind, there have been children who have eloped without their parents' permission. How do you get rid of procrastination? Gregory, you can't get rid of procrastination. It's part of human nature. But you can understand it more. You can be more honest about it. I think that's the best you can do, is to try to be honest about your procrastination. Okay? But let me give you one other tip that I think will help you. Gregory, procrastination is dangerous, but it doesn't feel dangerous, right? What is procrastination? Procrastination means you should make a decision now. You should do something now, but you decide, I'm going to wait until later. And it doesn't feel dangerous to do that. It feels like, oh, I can wait. It's okay. I can wait. Okay? But I want you to imagine this. I want you to imagine that you are driving down the highway. Okay? You're in your car and you're driving down the highway. And you have both hands on the wheel and you're going very fast down the highway. Okay? Now, if I take my hands off the wheel for 1 second, just 1 second, so I'm driving, I take my hands off the wheel, I put them back on. Am I going to crash? Am I going to die? No, probably not. No, it's just 1 second. It was not that long, right? It was okay, right? If I take my hands off the wheel for 3 seconds, now it's a little more dangerous. If I take my hands off the wheel for 5 seconds, you're reaching a point where it's lucky if you don't get in an accident. If you take your hands off the wheel for 10 seconds, are you going to crash? Probably. Okay? Probably. So, the point is, procrastination, we do procrastination because procrastination doesn't feel dangerous. But if you can imagine that procrastination is just like what I described, your life is the car. You are driving down the highway of life. When you procrastinate, you're taking your hands off the wheel of life. You're not in control anymore. You are not controlling your life. Your life is now going forward, but you have no control. Your hands are off the wheel. That is procrastination. Use that. Because if you can imagine a feeling of danger, then you won't procrastinate. Okay? Okay, next question. Hello, Guzarish. Life and learning have a deep connection. We grow by learning each day. Challenge is to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Elope equals escape. It sometimes does. Sometimes that's exactly why people elope. Yeah. As parents, we should be there if needed, but we need to let the children learn through experience. That's right. Yeah. If you want your child to be able, let me put it to you this way. Your child is going to have children one day. You hope that your child will have children. So you need your child to know life's answers. You need your child to know things so that they can teach their child things. But if you always prevent your child from learning anything because you want them to be safe, so you never let them make a decision, now your child doesn't know how to teach anyone about anything because they didn't learn. They didn't have their own life. You made all the decisions for them. Now you have a child who is not ready to have a child. Okay? Hello to all the new people. True, but past life has effects on the reputation in some cultures. Maybe. But guess what? You just said that's only in some cultures. So that means you need to understand how it works in every world, in every culture, not just in your culture. Okay? So, fine. If past life, if you believe in reincarnation and past life and karmic build-up, fine, great, wonderful. But you also need to understand how the world works if that's not true. This is how I work. I actually do kind of believe in reincarnation a little bit. I have my own ideas about reincarnation. But I imagine the possibility that it could be true or another thing could be true. And I accept that both could be true. That's Schrodinger's cat. Okay? You're welcome, Gregory. That's right, one incident doesn't define you. I'm trying to get off the procrastination for a good daily routine because social media has destroyed me. Okay, again, guys, social media is a garden. Social media is a garden of knowledge, of information. Let's put it that way. Social media is a garden of information. Do you have a garden of weeds? Or do you have a garden of valuable vegetables and fruits? Your social media is whatever you make your social media. So when I look at my Facebook, for example, let's see, the first things that pop up in my feed, I've got a quote here, humanity and peace. It's so hard to forget pain, but it's even harder to remember sweetness. We have no scar to show for happiness. We learn so little from peace. That's something that's in my social media. Another thing in my social media is a study about beneath the ocean surface. They have these. They discovered these eggs of these animals that live near these volcanoes underwater. It's a science article. It's about learning. Okay? I have another article here. Let's see, about... Oh, here's one here about classical art. Here is one about technology. Here is one about... Oh, man. Unfortunately, today I'm getting a lot of politics, but that's not my fault. That's just it. But the point is, my social media is not full of weeds. My social media is not full of pollution. Yours is. Okay? So, if you don't want it to be like that, then why do you let it be like that? Why are you growing weeds? Get rid of them. If you're not stupid, then why do you watch stupid shit? If you see somebody who does stupid things all the time, then you call them stupid, right? Let me help you with your social media. If you see somebody who does stupid things all the time, we call this person stupid, right? So, next time you scroll through your Facebook or your social media or your Instagram or whatever, are you stupid? Are you looking at stupid things the whole time? Because if you're doing stupid things all the time, then what does that make you? If you're not stupid, then don't be stupid. Okay? Talk about toxic parents. Okay, well, every parent was a child. Not every child grows up well. If you don't grow up well, you might be toxic. If you are a toxic parent, you are not ready to be a parent. You are not ready at all. But it happens a lot. There are a lot of parents who are toxic parents because most people that have children before they're really ready. And when, who's to say when you're ready? Well, I'll tell you when you're ready. If you have more answers than less answers, then you're ready. If you have no answers, you're not ready. If you don't know how to tell your child, what do I do when my girlfriend breaks up with me? You're not ready to be a parent. If you don't know how to tell your child what to tell your child when they have their first bad grade, or when they get beat up, or when they fall down, if you don't know what to tell them, you are not ready to be a parent because you didn't grow up enough. Your job is to grow up before you have children. Children are not supposed to have children. Adults are supposed to have children. But to be an adult, you must have an adult mind. And that only happens if you develop it to be an adult mind. If you spend all of your time doing childish things, then you stay childish. Okay? So yes, toxic parents are a problem. It's a thing. It's true everywhere. There are toxic parents. Parents are people. Parents are people. People have problems. Some people try to deal with their problems. Some people don't know how to deal with their problems. Some people don't even know that they should deal with their problems. Some people don't understand that when you have problems, your problems now become everyone's problems. That's why you need to work on your problems, because I don't want your problems, so fix them. And you don't want my problems, so I should fix them. It's not good if you have problems and you just put them out in the world. Work on them so that you're not putting your garbage out on other people. That's your garbage. Work on it. Okay? Sarah wants me to pronounce the months of the year. Okay, I can do that quickly, Sarah. However, I will tell you, Sarah, that the second month of the year, February, I pronounce it the original way that it was pronounced. However, there is another pronunciation that's acceptable. So here are the pronunciations of each of the months. January, February, or February. Both are okay. I like February. That's the original pronunciation. February. But most people today say February. Okay? Whatever. Okay? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay? Kelly, that's such a sensitive subject that I don't really want to talk about. I don't like it. I respect all kinds of cultures. I really do. I respect most things in most cultures. That's one that I just can't. I've seen it. I have learned about it. I do know about it. And I hope it does. There are some things, some parts of culture that do eventually go away because we decide they're not good anymore, right? We used to beat women on the regular, right? Men used to hit women because they could. We don't do that anymore. Well, you shouldn't do that anymore, right? So that's a part of culture that used to be common, but we don't accept that as common anymore, right? So that's what I think. I think that I don't want to talk about it, and I hope it eventually goes away so we don't have to talk about it anymore. Okay, let's balancing between protecting and teaching your child is the hardest mission. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's a hard job. You're right. Okay, let's see. Hello to all the new people. Does reincarnation equal awakening? No. Reincarnation is supposed to be the idea of you die, and then your physical body is reborn again in some other form. Okay? Could be a human, could be a tree, could be a frog. Okay? Hello, Ali. You couldn't be here. Well, you're back. It's good to see you again. Hello, Tanya. Humans love suffering. They keep watching insane people and complain about social media. Well, yeah. Unfortunately, these days, stupid things are more popular. That's true. That's one of the things that I'm trying to fight against. Is stupidity is very common. Because stupidity is much easier to sell. Making something smart, that takes time. Making something that has social value, that takes time, that takes effort. Making something stupid, that takes no time, no effort, no talent. So that's why 90% of the internet and 90% of social media is stupid. Okay? Okay, let's see. Some people think getting married can make you mature, but it doesn't. That's true, right? When you get married, you are no different. You're still whatever age, you're still whatever mentality. It doesn't change you. It's an agreement. A marriage is an agreement between two people to say, we're going to do life together now. But if you're two people who are two undeveloped people, very undeveloped people, and you don't know you're undeveloped, and you don't understand that you are undeveloped, your chances of having a good marriage are very low. That's why it's so important for everybody to understand your duty to develop yourself. Everyone in the world benefits if you develop yourself. Okay, let's see. Why did the students who have been bullied for a long time finally take revenge on society? Kelly, that's because when you are bullied, it creates trauma. I know because I was bullied. Okay? Being bullied doesn't feel good. It does not feel good. And it creates a sense of poison in you. When you are bullied, it can create a poison. And that poison in you makes you feel like now you want to bully someone else so that you can feel in control. When you get bullied, you have no control. You feel like you are not in control. So, what happens is you get bullied. So for example, this is a very common thing that happens. Maybe your father hits you. Your father is a very bad guy, and your father, he hits you, and he's very angry all the time, and he bullies you. So then you go to school, and then you decide, well, I'm going to bully the smaller people here. My father is bigger than me, he bullies me. I'm now going to bully the kids at school who are smaller than me. And then the kid at school gets bullied, and then he will bully somebody else. So bullying is contagious. It's like a disease. It's a virus. And when one person gets bullied, they feel hurt, and they feel that one way to get that hurt, one way to fix that hurt is to hurt someone else. Okay, so when you hurt someone, you create a cycle of hurt. They want to go hurt someone, and they will want to go hurt someone. Okay? What does cacophony mean? Cacophony means a lot of sound, a lot of noise. Noise. That's a cacophony. Okay? Cacophony just means a lot of sound, a lot of noise. Okay, next question. What do you think of a resolution to stop the feeling of being watched all the time and life-centered? Norman, I assume that you're talking about, like, just disconnecting from the digital world for a while. Is that what you mean? I think that's very true, Norman. I think that psychology is being affected greatly right now, because 50 years ago, I did not know the opinions of thousands of people around the world. I only knew my opinion and a few opinions of the people I know. Now we are exposed to thousands of opinions about everything all the time. And no, that's not valuable. It's not valuable at all. Sometimes the people on Facebook, for example, you are commenting. Maybe you see a comment you don't like, right? You see a comment you don't like. Blah, blah, blah is stupid. That's the comment. You don't like it, so now you're going to fight with them. You're going to argue with them. Well, guess what? That might not even be a real person. That might be a bot. And now you're fighting with a bot? You're arguing with a bot. So sometimes the things, you're looking at opinions, and they might not even be real people. They might not even be real. But you're feeling something like they're real. So Social media is a very interesting thing because we now have the ability to be connected to thousands and thousands and millions of people around the world all at the same time. And that creates a sense of what's the right word? Let me think of it. Wait a minute. It's like ants. If you know about ants, ants live communally. They speak communally. Ants and bees. Bees and ants, they all work together. They all know about things together. It's a group consciousness. That's the word I was looking for. So human society has created their own sense of group consciousness digitally. But our minds are not really designed for group consciousness like ants and bees have. So it means that ants and bees, they know the feelings of everybody in their community all the time. Okay? The bees, they know what all the bees feel. The ants, they know what all the ants feel. Okay? They do it through pheromones and things like that, scent. Okay? But when they do that, they're in harmony when they do that. But when we do that, we're not in harmony. If I know the opinion of thousands of people, it's just confusing and stressful. And I don't even know the value of those opinions. Marcus Aurelius was a famous Roman general. And he said, "The opinion of 10,000 men means nothing if they know nothing of the subject." The opinion of 10,000 men means nothing if they know nothing of the subject. So sometimes you're arguing with people on social media about politics or about justice or about whatever, but that person has opinions, but they don't have any knowledge. Everybody has opinions. Not all opinions are equal. Why? Why are all opinions not equal? Does anybody know why are all opinions not equal? Because some opinions are based on more knowledge or factual information than others. Okay? Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean it's based on good information. Okay? Okay, we're talking about concepts today, everybody. I hope I'm not boring you. I'm an idea guy. I like to think about ideas. But in general, Norman, the idea of what do I think about taking time away from social media? I think it's great. But do you know what the best way to do that is? Reading. Reading is wonderful because when you read, you do learn the opinion of one person, the author. The author that you're reading, whatever they're writing, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, you learn their opinion. And you learn it deeply because it's a book. It's not social media. On social media, if I see an opinion, it's only like one sentence. It's a comment. But when I read a book, I can learn deeply what this writer believes. Okay? The busy street was full of cacophony. Yes, that's correct, sure. Or you could say it was cacophonous. Cacophonous, okay? Oh, what do I think about Elon Musk? I think he's a douchebag. I don't usually use bad words, but in his case, I'll make an exception. What's a low-maintenance relationship? Zoe, the term low maintenance relationship means there are some people who they can be together and they are very secure with each other. So they don't have to maintain the relationship a lot. So, for example, I know one couple who they don't even live in the same city. She works in one city as a nurse, and he works in another city as a doctor, and then they come together as often as they can, right? But they seem fine with it. They seem like it works well for them. But then they don't get together very often. But then I know other couples who they need to talk a lot. They need to get together a lot. They need to talk about things. There's a lot of maintenance in the relationship. So every relationship, you need to maintain it. It's a living thing. It's just like a plant. If you don't pay attention to it, it will die. That's how relationships work. Okay? You have to feed them. You have to pay attention to them. You have to care for them. All right? But some relationships you need to care for more than others, just like plants, right? Why do I think he has many personal issues? He has many personal issues because if you read about his life, he was bullied. There's a prime example of somebody who was bullied. Why is he so screwed up? Because he was bullied. He had a weird childhood. Not a normal childhood. I mean, nothing's normal, but still. Anyway. Elon Musk, I don't like him. I think he's a douchebag. End of story. There is nothing more to talk about. Is homeschooling still common in the U.S.? Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I think it's terrible. I think that probably about less than 10%, maybe even less than 3% of the people who learn from home, who homeschool, I think less than 10%, maybe less than 3% actually get a good education. I think the rest of them get a terrible education, a really bad one, not a good one. And I think that most of the time, the people who do the homeschooling, they're not very smart themselves. So you didn't get good grades in school, you didn't do well in school, you don't study very much, but now you want to teach your child. You're not a teacher. You don't know anything. You didn't study anything. But you want to teach your child now. I think that there are 1% of the population is capable of doing that. Okay, let's see. Kelly, I don't understand your question. What does a person look like? Is what kind of... I don't know what you mean. Hello, Belen. How are you? Yes, that's right. Marcus Aurelius. That's right. Okay. And yes, that's the right right spelling of cacophonous. Right. Forgive my saying so, but forgive my saying so. Oh, which one is, I think I would say the more comfortable one is forgive my saying so. But I can see where someone might say forgive me saying so. All right? I think my would be the much more common and more formal way. Okay? Am I American? No. 我是外省人. Some people say they have real memories of their previous lives. Is that true? I don't know if that's true, Kelly. Yeah, there are many people who do. They say they have memories from past lives. Do I know if that's true or not? No, I don't know if that's true. I think that in the next 100 years, maybe 200 years, I think we will learn a lot more about death and what really happens. You know, I think that we're starting to get a slightly better idea about those things. But I still think it's going to be maybe another 100 years at least before we really know about those things. Okay? What is homeschooling? Homeschooling is, in America, there are some parents who decide that they do not want to send their children to public school or to private school, so they keep their children at home every day, and the parent will teach the child, and they're supposed to teach them everything, but they don't. Almost everyone who I have ever met who is homeschooled, wow, they have big problems. They did not develop well at all. Homeschooling is a terrible idea for so many reasons. Like I said, I think it's a good idea for 1% or less of the population. Maybe 1% of the population is capable and has the right environment and tools and abilities to do homeschooling well. But everybody else, I think it's just a stupid idea. That's one of the most common problems, is their socialization. But another problem is standardization. When you decide to have everybody go to learn school at home, everybody's getting different education. That doesn't work. That's not how education works. You have to have uniformity of knowledge. Okay? That's not a conspiracy. 2 + 2 is 4. That's not a conspiracy. Okay? Just because everybody agrees that something is true doesn't mean it's a conspiracy. Okay? Yes, kids need to get along with peers. There are so many things that they need to learn. But guess what, Hamburger? Since you're saying that, do you know what's funny about kids need socialization in school? This is one of the biggest differences between college in the United States and college in China. College in the United States is a very, very, very social experience. 50% of what you learn in college is about socialization. 50% of what you learn is knowledge. but in China, my experience, my knowledge, my understanding is when kids go to college there, it's just like high school again. They have no lives. They study, and that's all they do. They do nothing else. They just study. But when I went to college, college is not just studying. There are a lot of other things. And yeah, going to a party, that's important. I went to a lot of parties. Okay? Yeah. I had a lot of fun. I'm a drummer. I played in the band. I did a lot of socializing. Okay? But I also did a lot of reading, a lot of learning, a lot of studying, and I still do. Okay? Okay, let's see. What kind of person will children grow up to be under the abuse and suppression of their parents for a long time? Kelly, there's no way to know, but abuse usually repeats itself. So if you abuse someone, they will probably abuse someone. That's how that works. Okay? If your parents hit you when you were a kid, probably you're going to hit your kids. That's bullying too. Guess what? I got news for you. Punishment is only punishment when it's just. Otherwise, it's just cruel. Let's see, I think that's probably because they don't trust schools for reasons. There's probably not. Maybe, Larry. I'm not sure if I know what you're talking about, but maybe. Maybe. Yeah. What's the difference between a college and a university? In the United States, nothing. Okay? In the United States, the term college and the term university are the same. Okay? What college does he go to? What university does he go to? It's the same. Okay? It is different, I believe, in UK. Let me double check here. Yeah, university in the UK, that means bachelor's, master's, and doctorate. But college in the UK or in Europe, I believe, it means like when you're 16, 17, 18, it's that year, those years of schooling, okay? That's different than America. In America, high school is until you're 18, usually, okay? So high school is usually like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, that's high school years, okay? And then we go to college or university. The same thing here. But like I said, in the UK, it's not the same, okay? We join some student organizations in college and we can socialize there. And that's good, Amanda. I know, again, I'm not trying to completely judge. I just am saying that it is different. Okay? I know you go to student organizations, but it's not the same as going to a party. Amanda, there are some schools in America that are famous because of their parties. For example, in my state, there is one university called Ohio State University. Ohio State, well, both, no, Ohio University and Ohio State, both are big schools that are good, and they're famous for their parties. Okay? Let me show you the difference. Let me show you the difference between an American college and a Chinese college. Okay? Here, take a look at this. Okay, take a look at this. Share screen. This is Ohio University during Halloween. Okay, around Halloween on that weekend, the whole university becomes one huge, huge party. Look at the people. Look how many people. and everybody's wearing a costume, and everybody's walking around having some beers and drinking and having fun, and it's a huge party. Okay, there are bands, there's lots of live music everywhere, everybody's running around having fun together. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say is I don't think you have that in China. I haven't seen it. So joining a student organization is great, but it's not this. Okay? It's very different. Okay? All right, let's see. What about a conservatory? A conservatory is usually a word that's used to describe a music school. For example, I went to a conservatory, the Cincinnati Conservatory of Music, CCM. Cincinnati Conservatory of Music. So it's a school for art. Okay? I think conservatory is often used for music or art. Let me double check. Yeah, performing arts like music and dance and theater, those are conservatories. Okay, so that's an art school. Okay? You've seen ghosts. What's the situation? Well, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. What food do Americans eat? We eat anything. Okay? For example, this week I had Thai food, I had Chinese food, I had Indian food, I've had pizza, I've had American food, I've had hamburgers, right? So we eat everything, man. Okay, we eat everything. But, sure, we eat a lot of hamburgers. Sure, we eat a lot of pizza. We eat a lot of American Chinese food. It's one of the most popular foods to order. Okay, we eat a lot of Mexican food. Tex-Mex, it's called. What about shadowing in English? Shadowing is good, but you have to shadow someone good. Okay? If you shadow a bad person. Shadowing is just learning. That's all shadowing is. Shadowing is when you say, wow, he's good. I want to watch him. But that means you have to find someone who is good. Don't just watch somebody who's not good. Okay? So I can say when I was in college, even though it's a university, actually, yeah. Yeah. In America, you can. Yeah. It's not encouraged, it's even forbidden, too many people, too dangerous, schools think like that. I know that's what they think. And they're not entirely wrong, Woody. Do some people get in trouble every year when we have parties? Sure. Do some people drink too much when we have parties and, whatever? Yeah. Do people commit crimes sometimes? Sure. But mostly, 99%, it's just people having fun. That's all. Okay? 1% will be in trouble. The rest just have fun. And they do it every year. I went to that party 5 years. It was great. It was amazing. One moment, please. Let's see, what's the next question? What's your favorite YouTube channel or TV show? I don't watch YouTube very much at all. I just don't. I'll tell you why. I'm sure there are many great things. It's too much. I don't have time to look through all of it, so I just don't bother. I'm sure there are many great things, but I don't want to spend 3 hours looking for one good thing. And most of YouTube is just like the internet. Most of the internet is garbage. Most of YouTube is garbage. Okay? Do I believe in the Mandela effect? Yes, somewhat. It's a psychological phenomenon that I think is common, but I think it's just a psychological trick mostly. Your brain remembers what it thinks it wants to remember. So this is right, like for example, when you go to court, if you have to be a witness in court to a crime, people have bad memories. Your brain is a very funny thing. If it can't remember something, sometimes it tries to fill in the blanks. It tries to finish the story for you. So it'll create something that's not true that you remember. There are a bunch of different psychological ways that false memories can happen. I think that the Mandela effect is just another example of a psychological trick that happens due to memory, the qualities of memory that we don't totally understand yet. Okay? Let's see. Right, in some countries, college is between high school and university. Right, I know that. But in America, college and university are the same. Okay? Can you shadow an AI? Not really, no. Not that effectively. Because to shadow someone, you have to be able to see them too. Okay? You have to see their mouths. You have to see their hands. You have to see their faces. Right? So, shadowing an AI is only going to help you so much. Okay? Do we often work overtime? Do U.S. companies have overtime working atmosphere? Amanda, yes and no. Amanda, American companies are just like any other company. They don't like to spend money. So, every American company should probably have overtime and be paying people overtime. But in America, overtime usually means you're being paid more money. So sometimes it's time and a half, we call it. Time and a half means if you get paid $10 an hour, then time and a half is $15 an hour. It means whatever wage you make, half of that added to it, right? So 10 becomes 15, right? So most companies don't want to pay for overtime. So what they do is they keep everybody just underneath the right number of hours. Businesses don't care about people. They just don't. They care about money. They care about business. They don't care about people. So they should pay overtime, but they don't. Not many companies do that. Fares, about movies for B1 level, I don't know. Do a Google search for that, okay? Do a Google search for movies at B1, okay? Social media gives too much fragmented information. We need to read and enhance our knowledge and defense. Well, that's true. Social media does usually give only a little bit of information. That's why you have to go do more. So many days, every day I read some little article from Facebook about something big. But after I read that one little article, then I will do more research. Then I will read more. Or I will talk to ChatGPT about it so that I can learn more. Okay? Because you're right. If you only learn what's on Facebook, you're just getting this much. You don't know the picture. You don't understand it at all. You need to learn more. But it's a good place to start. Sometimes it's a good place to start the feeling that you want to learn more. Okay? Good night, Kelly. Okay, guys, I'm not really talking about English questions today, okay? Today is about other things, okay? So if you're asking questions about English, you should come back tomorrow, all right? Because today I'm not talking about English. Today I'm talking about concepts, okay? Why? Because it says right there, I choose the topic, I'm the teacher, and the topic today is concepts. Any concepts, okay? But concepts about English are okay. I just don't want to teach little things about English today, okay? Tomorrow I can do those, okay? Do I think watching a lot of horror and violent movies can change the way people think? Yes and no. I think that if you watch horror and violent movies and that's all you watch, and you don't have any sense of perspective about horror or violence, then yes, I think that if you watch too much of that, it will make you think that the world has a lot more of that than it really does. But if you watch horror and violent movies and you also balance that with other things so that you have a better perspective, then I think it's fine, okay? When I watch horror movies, I don't watch them very much because I don't really like them that much, but I'm not affected by them because I know they're not real, because I've learned about the world. But if you haven't learned about the world and you watch them, then they shape your world. Okay? The world in your mind is the world that you created. Okay? Whatever you put in your head, that's what your world is. Okay? So it can affect you, but it doesn't have to affect you. It just depends on how smart you are about learning. You need to be smart enough to know that you need to balance your learning. Okay? Do I use ChatGPT? Yes, I do. Philippe, we don't talk about religion or politics here. Okay? Sometimes maybe a little spirituality or some things like that, but more like an inspirational spirituality, not like a religious kind of thing, okay? Religion and politics are not allowed on Hello Talk. Everybody needs to know that, okay? If you talk about politics here or you talk about religion here, someone can report you, and that's okay because that's not allowed here, all right? Thank you, Carolina, very much. Thank you. Yes, if you want to learn more, you guys can go check out my website, check out my YouTube. Here's my YouTube. Here is my website. Here is my blog. Okay? If the information I'm teaching today is not interesting to you, then you should go look at those. Okay? All right, next question. What's the signal to stop learning English and start learning Chinese? There is no signal because there is no stop. I like that name. It's an interesting name, Shame. So, Shame, what I will say is, can I finish studying Spanish? Can I finish? No. I can't. If I start studying Spanish, there is no finish. There is no finish for English. There is no Finnish for Chinese. There is no Finnish for Japanese, French, German, Italian, Portuguese. There is no Finnish in languages. Okay? You can learn as many languages as you want at the same time. Okay? Of course, it will be difficult. It will be difficult. Okay? What I would tell you is if you want to start learning Chinese, then what you should do is learn Chinese and English together. So don't use Spanish as your base language when you study English. I'm sorry, when you study Chinese. So what I mean is, if you're going to study Chinese, use English as your base language to study Chinese, not Spanish. That way, you're practicing both. Okay? Is the IQ of small animals not as high as that of human beings? Based on what we know about intelligence, yes. If you're using the scale of human intelligence as the measure of intelligence, then yes, the way we see other animals is that they have lesser intelligence than we do. That's the way we see it now. It's very possible that in the future we will have a greater understanding of how brains work, and then we'll know more about consciousness of various animals and things. Okay? We have learned that even plants have consciousness. Like there are studies that show that even plants have consciousness. So somewhere between intelligence and consciousness, that's where everyone lives. Right? We all have a sense of consciousness. We all have some sense of intelligence. But I think there are different grades of intelligence, or perhaps another way to say it would be there are different kinds of intelligence. So maybe we will find out, 1,000 years from now, we will find out that dolphins and the octopuses, they are super smart. Maybe they're smarter than we are about many things, but in a different way. Right? So I don't know. I'm just speculating. I'm just guessing. It's a concept. Okay? Thank you, Karen, for going to my YouTube every day. Hello, Camila. Hola. I must read a lot about philosophy. Yeah. That's true. I do. You saw that I'm learning Japanese. How's it going so far? I'm not really learning Japanese. I want to learn more Japanese, but I rotate my languages on HelloTalk every once in a while, because when you change your languages, it also changes your audience a little bit. And I like to have different people from around the world, so every once in a while I change my languages on HelloTalk to other languages so that I'm exposed to different people. Okay? There is no Finnish in language, that's right. Here is my YouTube. About what question, King? King, have you ever had a teacher before, King? If you have, then you know the teacher is in charge. That's me. I run the show. You're here in the audience. You're not on the stage. You're not the show. I'm the show. Okay? So just listen. Pay attention. Join the conversation. We're talking here, okay? Let's see. What's the difference between condiment and seasoning? Seasonings... Okay, let me think about this. All seasonings are... No, wait. All condiments are seasonings, but not all seasonings are condiments. Okay? Condiment is usually the word that we use for things like ketchup or mustard or mayonnaise. Okay? Maybe well, let me take a look here. Let me show you. So when I type in the word condiment, let's show what comes up. These are condiments. Okay, I'm going to agree with all of this except for these two on the end. Salt and pepper. I think salt and pepper are seasonings, not condiments. Condiments are things that we put on the table to add to your food, right? So hot sauce, you add to it. Barbecue sauce, you add that. Ketchup, you add that, right? So if it's something that you add, that's a condiment. So salt and pepper can be both a seasoning or a condiment. Seasoning is the word we use when you're cooking. When you cook the food and you add soy sauce, now that's a seasoning. When you add salt or pepper when you're cooking, that's a seasoning. But when you add it when you're at the table, now it's a condiment. Okay, so condiments are the extra sauces or things that they give you to put on your food yourself. Seasonings are the things that you use when you're cooking, usually. Okay? That's a good question. Okay? Can snakes really take revenge on humans? I don't even know what that means, Kelly. Can you define spirituality and how it could affect our life or impact our life? Okay, I'll try. Spirituality is a feeling of connection to something deeper. Something. I don't know what it is. You don't know what it is. Nobody knows what it is. That's spirit. Spirit is a feeling. It's a sense. It's a quality of spirituality is the thing that you feel connected to that you can't explain. Okay? It's not something that you're supposed to try to really explain. It's something you're supposed to feel. So, like for example, in Chinese they have a word, guanxi. Guanxi means connections, right? And connections, usually when we use the word connections or guanxi, we're talking about relationships, like business relationships. That's guanxi. But spirituality is connection to something deeper. That's what spirituality is. It's connection to something that you don't understand, something bigger than yourself. It doesn't have to be religion, but it could be. It doesn't have to be anything. It's whatever you feel. No one can define it completely because spirituality is personal. Okay? Let's see. How can you deal with self-doubt? You don't. Self-doubt is good. Self-doubt. If you don't have self-doubt, you will never make a good decision. Doubt is a good thing if you know how to use it. Doubt is the feeling that makes you want to make sure before you do something. If you're not sure, then maybe you shouldn't. So when you feel a sense of self-doubt, it can be real and maybe beneficial. So for example, if you have a sense of self-doubt about a test, I have to take this test, I don't think I'm going to do well. The test is on Friday, I don't think I'm going to do well. Your feeling of self-doubt is because you know you're not going to do well, because you didn't prepare. So sometimes self-doubt is good because it tells you, hey, dummy, you did not do what you were supposed to do, so you're not ready. But you're right. Sometimes self-doubt is too much. We doubt ourselves when we shouldn't. There are some times when you are ready, but you feel like you're not. And that's when you need somebody to help you, to push you. Okay? Friends are a great thing about self-doubt, because when you doubt yourself, your friend won't. Okay? Do I have friends or people in my life that eat dog? No. No. Not anyone that I know personally. No. Why does fruitcake mean someone who's mentally ill or behaves in a strange way? Yeah, there's a funny story about that. Let me see here. So originally the phrase was nutty as a fruitcake. Nutty as a fruitcake. That was the original phrase. So now when we say he's a fruitcake, that means he's crazy. Why? Because fruitcake has a lot of nuts in it. And nuts is another word for crazy. So if I say, oh, he's nuts, that means he's crazy. If I say he's a fruitcake, that means he's crazy. Because why? Fruitcakes have a lot of nuts. Okay? There you go. What does soft down mean? I don't know. Where did you see that word? Why do some people regard learning foreign languages as an act of worshiping foreigners? That's stupid. What a dumb idea. What a dumb idea. If I learn Chinese, am I worshiping Chinese people? No. If I learn French, am I worshiping French people? No. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. That's fear, Kelly. When you are afraid of learning, you're saying you're afraid of worshiping foreigners. That's basically saying, well, don't learn too much about other people. That's fear. That's fear. That's pathetic. No. That's pathetic. And guess what? If you live on Earth, there are no foreign languages. I live on Earth. Do you? Thank you very much for all the compliments and everything. Thank you. Is there any different way to define regret and lament? If you mean in the sense of vocabulary, to lament and to regret are pretty much the same thing. Regret can be a noun and a verb. Lament can only be a verb. So to lament or to regret. But you can also say, I have regret. You cannot say, I have lament. You could say, I have lamentations. Lamentation would be the noun form of lament. I think regret is definitely more common than lament. Okay? Now, if you're talking about a philosophical difference between regret and lament, that's a little harder to answer. What are the WH types of words? Yeah, we say it's who, what, when, where, why, and how. So it's the 5 WH words plus 1 H word. Okay? Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Okay? Do I know which German university is better? No, I do not. I have no idea. Ask a German. Find some Germans on here and ask them. Give you 5 ideas of business that will surely work. I don't have 5 ideas of business that would surely work. If I did, then I would do them. Explain about fruitcake again. Let me show you. Take a look at this. What is this? This is called fruitcake. This is called fruitcake. All right? It's a dessert, or it's a kind of cake that we usually make it for Christmas. Okay? It's a Christmas cake. All right? But if you look, what's on top? What do you see on top? What are all these things on top? What do you see on top? Can you see that? What are these? Nuts. Right. Those are nuts. And in English, the word nuts means crazy. It's a slang word that means crazy. So when you say he's a fruitcake, this is a fruitcake. Fruitcake also means nuts. It means crazy. Because why? Because fruitcakes have nuts. All right? So if you say he's a fruitcake, that means he's crazy. He's a little nuts. Okay? Oh, thank you very much, Flash. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bananas. Bananas is another one. But bananas sometimes means crazy in a good way. Like, we went bananas. That means, like, we had fun. We were having crazy fun. Okay? But if I say he's a little bananas, yeah, that means he's a little crazy. That's slang. Yeah. So fruitcake is the key here. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. My 3 favorite idioms? I don't think I have any favorite idioms. To kill 2 birds with 1 stone, that's always a good one. I can never think of them off the top of my head. Break a leg, that's a good one. Means good luck. Excuse me. Beat around the bush, that's a good one. Means don't beat around the bush. Means tell me. Tell me directly. Stop talking around it. Just tell me. Okay? So I don't have any favorites. I don't know how to do that. That's not how I think about them. Okay? Yeah, today there's no stage. Today, no stage. Today, just teaching. Today's just me. All right? I can write it, but I won't. But I will give you this, Junior. Go here. theidioms.com. Copy that and go there. Look. Look, theidioms.com. Largest idioms dictionary. It's not a perfect website, but it's not bad. Okay? And look, watch this. A to Z. Here's A idioms. American Hustle. A foregone conclusion. At large. About face. All agog. All over the place. Okay? Or, this is why I do like this website, because you can look at them from A to Z, or you can look at them by topic. So you can say, let's look at idioms about love. To hold your heart. Till death do us part. An old flame. So these are all about love. Okay? So they have all of the idioms here. They have them by alphabetical order, or they have them by topic. Okay? So you can click, let's see, let's try bravery. To take the plunge. He's a tough cookie. Right? To bite the bullet. These are all about bravery. All right? Okay, so theidioms.com, theidioms.com, theidioms.com. Okay, okay, if you are new, everybody, if you are new, I'm not teaching English today. Today I'm not teaching about grammar, I'm not teaching about vocabulary. But I usually do. 84,000 people follow me on HelloTalk. I am here almost every day. I am a real teacher. Okay? So, if you want to learn English, if you are serious, then you should come and watch and listen. But guess what? Most people who say they want to learn, they're not serious. They're not serious. Anyone can say, I want to learn. It's easy to say, I want to learn. But you have to do it. So if you want to do it, then come and follow and listen. And ask good questions. Good questions. How can I be good at English? That's not a good question. It's not a good question. Okay? Think about it. Next question. Anthea. Hello, Anthea. I like that name. Can I ask, is there another meaning of nugget? Nugget has a bunch of meanings, Anthea. The original meaning of nugget means a piece of something. A piece of something is a nugget. For example, that word, originally, we used to talk about that word when we talked about gold. If you find a piece of gold, that's called a nugget. Okay? So let me show you. So look, everybody, these are gold nuggets. A nugget just means a little piece. Okay? So these are all nuggets. All right? But there's another kind of nugget. Chicken nuggets. If you go to McDonald's, McDonald's has chicken nuggets. So nugget means a small piece. Okay, a small piece of chicken is a nugget of chicken. A small piece of gold is a nugget of gold. Okay? There is another meaning, it's slang meaning, but I don't think you need that. Okay, let's see. Do people who predict the future exist? They exist. Are they correct? Not usually, no. There have always been people who predict the future. They're called prognosticators. A prognosticator is a person who predicts the future. But they're not usually very accurate. Okay? First, you should ask yourself, do you want to learn? That's right. Yeah, everybody says they want to learn. Is it true that you have to be exceptionally good at English for foreigners to be treated specially, standing out from others? No. No, who gave you that idea? No. Definitely not. No. If you are here, there's just one rule. Be nice. Be a good person, be nice. I don't care what language you speak, what accent you have. I don't care where you're from. If you're nice, that's all I care about. Okay? Technical question. How can you set up... Oh, how do... Mustafa, I'm not using my cell phone. Look, here's my phone. I'm not using my phone. I use my computer. I have a webcam. I have a bunch of equipment here. All right? If you want to use your computer to make a live stream, you cannot watch any live stream on your computer. You can make one, okay, like I'm doing now. If you open a live stream on HelloTalk, there's a link. You can copy that link and open it in your browser on your computer in Chrome, and now I can use my computer and my microphone here. I've got a nice microphone here that I'm plugged into. Okay, so that's how I can do that. All right, when you can use your computer, you can share your screen and do a lot of things. Okay. Am I happy to exist even if life is difficult, and why? I am happy to exist. Life is hard for everyone in different ways. Life is harder for some people than others. Sometimes people who have a hard life become better people. Sometimes people who have an easy life become worse people. So, am I happy to exist even if life is difficult? Yeah. But I understand that in life, even if it's difficult, I have to try to be a good person. That's hard. Okay? Can I prepare for the IELTS test? If you mean, do I teach for the IELTS test? I can, but you have to pay me. Okay, I'm a teacher. That's my job. So right now, you're not paying me. I'm doing this for free. But if you want me to teach you private lessons, then yeah, you have to pay me. Okay? Excuse me. Lisa says, can you explain it more slowly? I don't know much. Can I explain what more slowly? Hello, everyone. Compared to British English, American English is easy to understand. Is there any specific reason? No, it depends on who you're talking to. There are some Americans that you will not understand. I speak clearly. That's why you understand. Okay? But that's mostly about how much I care. It's not about where I come from. Okay? In the UK, there are some people who speak really well because they care about speaking well. But there are many people who speak very poorly because they speak lazily. Right? Same thing here in America. There are many people in America who speak well because they care about speaking well. But there are many people here who don't speak well. Just last week, I saw another American English teacher on Facebook, and she was teaching about pronunciation of many words, but one word that she was teaching was the word important. Important. And she was telling everyone that the American pronunciation of important has a soft D. Important, important. That's what she said the pronunciation is. I wrote and told her, no, that is not the pronunciation of the word. You are just lazy. Your mouth is lazy. Important, important, important. It's very important that I see you after work. Important. I said important. There's a T. When you hear other people who don't have a T, it's not because there is no T, it's because they are lazy. They're not saying it clearly. That's the only reason why. Every language requires that your mouth has to move. Every language has mouth movements. So there are some people who make those movements very clearly, and there are some people who don't make their movements very clearly. So it doesn't matter what language you speak. In every language, there are some people who move their mouths very clearly, so every word is understood. And there are some people who don't move their mouths very clearly, and they're not clear. That's true for every language. Is AI more genius than human intelligence or not? No, because AI is made from human intelligence. AI is it's a massive collaboration of information. That's all AI is. Right now, AI is merely the combination of everything we know together. An interpretation of everything we know. That's what AI is currently. Okay? Now, it may, at some point, it may become self-aware. And if AI becomes self-aware, then it might be capable of learning beyond what we are able to learn. But right now, it can only do that if we tell it to. So in that case, it's not more genius than us because it can't exist without us. Okay? I'm not having anyone on stage right now. What does pitch as a verb mean? As a verb, pitch means to throw, like the pitcher at a baseball game. Okay, he pitches the ball, means to throw the ball very fast, right? So the one guy in the middle who throws the ball to the batter, right? This guy, the guy who goes like this, he stands there and he goes, that's the pitcher, okay? To pitch means to throw, okay? Sometimes I'll say, should I throw this away? Oh yeah, pitch it. Pitch it can mean throw it away, okay? Is it okay to play games and learning English every day? Yes, it's okay to play games and learn English every day if they're good games for learning English. Okay? If they're good games for learning English. Hello, Day. How have I been? I've been fine. Long time no see. You're welcome, Abdul. People kept saying those things, and I was anxious that I felt like I was falling into... what? Thank you so much, truly from the bottom of my heart. What's the problem with that, Ivan? Did I explain? Did I talk about Link? I don't remember talking about Link. Elena, if you have grammar and you have vocabulary, then you can speak, but you just don't. Wait a minute, let me think about how to say this. Before you can be perfect, you have to be good. Before you can be good, you have to be pretty good. Before you can be pretty good, you have to be pretty bad. Before you can be pretty bad, you have to be bad. This is your problem. You want to be perfect, but you have never been pretty good. You want to be perfect, but you have never been good. You want to be perfect, but you have never been okay. You want to be perfect, but you have never been pretty bad. You have to be willing to make mistakes to get to the top. Okay? So if you want to improve, then make more mistakes so that you can. Okay? It's an important, good example for lazy, but some people will believe it more authentic. Yeah, there are many people who do believe that. I think that's ridiculous. It's silly. Okay? What makes me happy in my life? Food, music, culture, learning, growing. Well, growing doesn't always make you happy. Sometimes growing is difficult. But learning, I love learning. And I love culture. But even in the word water, right, so water is different. Water has what we call the, some people call it a glottal stop, and some people call it a flap T, okay? But I have a better way to explain it. The word water or better or butter, all of those, they are T's. But if you say the word slowly, for example, butter, it's a hard T. Better, it's a hard T. Water, it's a hard T. But if I speed it up, when you speed it up, there's not enough time for a hard T. So what happens is, I want you to think about the T. We took the T, the letter T is right here, it's in the middle, okay? And I'm going to cut it in half. I'm going to cut the T in half. So now, when you say the T, the first part of the T is not that strong because we cut it off. It's still a T, but we just cut the first part of the T off. That is a better way to think about flap T, or the soft D, whatever you want to call it. Okay? But it's not a good idea to think about it like the word is water, W-A-D-E-R. No, it's still water, but it's a half T. It's a half T. Okay? Do I like playing music? Yes, I love music. I'm a musician. Of course I love music. Music makes me happy, of course. Am I still teaching at school? I teach only online right now. No schools, only online. Oh, right, you're right, Mustafa. Yeah, okay, no problem, Mustafa. Yeah. People say that if I'm good at English, foreigners will listen to me better. Well, yeah, that's true. But, Ivan, that doesn't have anything to do with English. Ivan, let me explain something to you. Please listen, everybody. This is a very important lesson right now. Language is magic. Did you know that? Do you know that language is magic? I am a magic maker. I make magic. Right now, I am using magic. Are you listening to me? Do you want to listen to me more? Do you want to hear what I have to say? That's magic. If your words are great, it doesn't matter what language it's in. If your words are great, people will want to listen to you. That's the magic of language. People who speak well, they're like magicians. They're like wizards. Think about it. Think about it. Think about one person you know who speaks really well, and how everybody wants to listen to that person. They're a wizard. They're a magician. Everybody is looking at them and like magic. So, Ivan, that means that if I speak Chinese, even if my pronunciation is not great, let me put it to you this way. If I speak Chinese well, if I use the words well, people will listen to me. If my words are powerful, people will listen to me. So, language is magic. Okay? You are learning magic, everyone. There are some people who have powerful magic. Powerful magic. People will listen to them because they have great words. That's the original meaning of the word grammar. The original meaning of the word grammar is secret knowledge. That's the original meaning. Secret knowledge. Why? Why is it secret knowledge? Because a long time ago, not everyone could read. A long time ago, not everyone could write. A long time ago, not everyone had good language. So a long time ago, grammar was secret knowledge. Only some people knew grammar. Only a few people knew the words and the real way to use them. That's magic, everyone. Okay? So, when you learn language, you are learning the magical power of words. Okay? Language is magic. It's power, man. It's power. Okay? Okay, I have to go soon. I'm almost done here. It's been 2 hours. Wow, long time. And over there, hello, Miguel. How are you? Good to see you. Hello, Rafat, and hello, Meme, over in my YouTube. Hello. Okay, I only have a couple minutes. Let me try to get just a couple more questions, and then I have to go. So if I want to talk with native speakers freely, how many words should I master? There is no number. Okay? Everyone knows different words. There are some words that are much more common, right? Like the word the word a, the word an, the word with, the word to. Those are common. Everybody knows those words, right? But if I, let me think. If I say the word conciliate, or anachronism, or diatribe, or nonplussed, or onomatopoeia, not everyone knows those words. Some words are more commonly known, and some are less commonly known. Okay? But again, the more words you know, the more powerful your magic might be. Okay? When you know grammar better, your magic is more powerful. When you know vocabulary better, your magic is more powerful. When you study listening, and you listen to the way other people use words like magic, you become more powerful. When you practice writing, how do I use these words to write that magic, you become more powerful. Okay? It's a learning curve? What's a learning curve? Does AI help us learn English? Yes, it does. If a person doesn't study, doesn't socialize, doesn't read books, and doesn't play games, and doesn't go out every day, will there be any problems? Yeah. Yes, there will. Yeah. You said that there are people who can't be understood because of their mouths don't move properly, but I think it's also because of accent. It's both. Okay? Hosean, it's both. All right? In America, there are 30 plus accents. Okay? My accent is called the Midland, Ohio accent. I live in Ohio. We have 3 accents here. Okay? So you are right. There are some accents that are more difficult to understand than others. You can understand me well. Why? Because the Midland, Ohio accent is the most neutral. It's very close to the same pronunciation as IPA, right? The International Phonetic Alphabet. All right? So you are correct. Accent is part of it, but accent is the style of pronunciation. That's what accent is. It's pronunciation style. Okay? So when you learn pronunciation, it's like learning music, right? Music is a big word. But when you learn the Scottish accent, that's like learning jazz music. And then there's the American accent, that's like learning rock music. And then there's the French accent, that's like learning classical music, right? So every accent is a different style. You're right, it's also the accent, but first, before accent, it's just about mouth clarity. Mouth clarity. Okay? What's the difference between person or persons? Huh? Those are the same word. Persons or persons. Zaki, I don't see a difference in what you wrote. Can I give examples of the 3 different accents of Ohio? Ooh, that's hard, but I'll try. So, for example, there's another accent, the Southwest Ohio accent, and some people, when they say, for example, the word wash your hands, W-A-S-H, but some people in the Southern Ohio, Southwestern accent, they'll say wash. It's almost like W-A-R-S-H. Wash your hands. Okay? That's one. And then, let me see, the Northern Ohio accent. Oh, right. Yeah, I remember now. So, for example, if you live up in Cleveland or Toledo, in the northern part of Ohio, when you say the word cat, it might be cat. Yeah. All of America has a very interesting thing. When you go closer to the border of Canada, the further you go up north, the accents change, and they sometimes do get closer to the Canadian accent, but there's also this particular thing that happens with the letters E, like this, like cat. Okay? Like the A and the E become different. Okay? You are welcome. Okay. And yes, person is one, persons is many, but we usually say people. Okay? There are some situations where the word persons is better. Okay? But those are very special situations, so don't worry about it. The general rule is, if it's one, you say person. If it's many, you say people. Okay? That's the general idea. Provoking. You can say provocative. Provocative is the word you're looking for. Okay? A provocative lesson means an interesting lesson. Okay? Okay, guys, before I go, I do want to tell you who I am. Hi, my name is Teacher Mark. What's up? I have been on HelloTalk for 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. No joke. I've been here for 12 years on this app. Okay, the app is only a little bit older than that. Okay, so I have been using this app for almost the entire time that this app has existed. Okay? And I have about 84,000 followers on HelloTalk. They follow me because I teach. I am a teacher. And when I say that word, it's not a job. It's who I am. That's why people watch. Because you can tell, you can see that I teach because I'm passionate about teaching. That's why I teach. Okay? 48,000. 48,000. 48,000. Not 18,000. 48,000. Okay? Do I speak here every day? Almost every day. Okay? I'm usually here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday is my one day off. Okay? But sometimes maybe I'm tired. Sometimes I'm busy or I have private lessons I have to teach. Sometimes I'm sick. So maybe I'm not here. But I am usually here. Okay? I'm usually here. I have a YouTube channel. Every HelloTalk stream I do is also on YouTube at the same time. There is my YouTube channel. There's no time limit on YouTube. So if you want to, you can watch me on YouTube with no time limit. Okay? All right? Yes, 48,000. That's right. Almost 50,000. So that's my YouTube channel. On my YouTube channel, there are hundreds of videos. Hundreds of videos on my YouTube channel about reading, about writing, about grammar. I answer questions about everything. Okay? If you have a question, somebody already asked me that question, I'm sure. Okay? I've already answered it. So you should go watch my videos. Okay? I also have a website. Let me show you my website. Here's my website. Look. This is my website. Okay? Whoops. Wait a minute. Go back to home. There we go. Hello? There we go. This is my website. Okay? And on my website, if you subscribe, it's free. It's free. It's free. It's free! Okay? If you subscribe, you can buy lessons from me here. If you want to get lessons, you can get lessons. You can buy lessons from me here. But you can also go to my blog right here. If you go to my blog, look, I wrote these articles about learning. These are articles that I wrote. Okay? And if you go to my website, you can go here. Up here, resources. Look at this up here. If you click on resources, look. Hello? What's wrong with my website today? So weird. There we go. Now it's going. I don't know why it's so slow. Look, if you want to study, Teacher Mark's top English resources right here. Below, I have gathered together all the best study and practice resources I could find from all over the internet. just for my subscribers. So, if you want to practice reading, click on reading. If you want to practice writing, click on writing. Let's look vocabulary. Let's click on vocabulary. And on vocabulary, it's so slow today. Here we go. Here's thesaurus.com. That's a website for vocabulary. Here's etymonline.com. That's a website to help your vocabulary. Here's Wyzant Etymology. That's a website for vocabulary. Here's Language English Guide, or here's LangGeek Vocabulary. Here's the Text Project Vocabulary. Okay, so it's all right here on my website, on the resources button. Okay, if you click on resources, then you will find all of these things. IELTS and TOEFL, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, all of it is right here. Okay? So, that is on my website. Okay? Here is my website one more time. That's my website right there. And here is my blog. Okay? So, I have a podcast, I have a website, I have a blog, I have a YouTube. This is my job. Most of the people on HelloTalk, they're just people. They don't teach. They don't know anything. Okay? A few do. There are a few who are really good on HelloTalk. But most of the people on HelloTalk are just people. They're not teachers. Okay? But I am. I am 50 years old. I started teaching when I was 18. I've been teaching a long time. I started teaching English in 2009. Okay? All right. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. I do need to go. I've been here for 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I need to go and have some lunch and relax for a bit. Okay? But thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following. Thank you for participating. Please share and tell other people. If you think I'm doing a good job, please share. If you think I'm doing a good job, give me a tip. I don't make any money here. So, yeah, it's nice. If you give me a tip, it's nice. It does help me. All right? So, all of those things. Please share. Please tip. Please support me. Because I really do work hard. Okay? All right. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Wherever you live in the world. And I will see you guys next time. Here's my YouTube one more time. Here's my YouTube. Here is my website. Here is my blog. Okay? Take a picture so that you can remember them. Okay? All right. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everyone.